Good morning. Today I'd like to show you a small demo on how to create a Java application in Spring Boot and how you can use authentication using Azure Active Directory and how to enable multi-factor authentication within Azure Active Directory and how you can enable this for your web application. So when we go to here are the source codes. And what we first need to do is some preparation work. It is best practice in Azure Active Directory or in Azure to have a separate directory for your application. So you would have one standard directory which you're using to do your management for, and that's linked to your account. And what you usually will do is create another directory where you would register the users and passwords of your applications. And we do that by going to the auth management portal, and there we push new. We push the directory button and we say custom create, and here we say directory / tenant for demo. Let's call it demo directory. Demo Chris demo. So like this. It's already taken. That's okay. Come to the Netherlands here. I'm not using this B2C option because let's keep it simple now. Not using all the options, but there are many more options. So as you might know, there is a new portal and an old portal. The new portal is based on ARM templates or resource management, but not all we are in the transition phase and not all the features are yet ported into the new portal. So sometimes a functionality is not available in the new portal, and therefore you need to go to the old portal. Here we created a new directory, and this is a directory you own now, and you can use this to do your management on. And in this directory we will create the users and passwords for the application we will use in the demo. And with that we also register applications. Going back to the old portal now, I'm going to refresh my page. And if correctly, I will see that there is a new folder here or a new option for me to go to. And I'm switching directory in the new portal to the directory I just created. And this directory name is the demo directory. When I'm switching to this new portal, you will also see there are no resources yet visible or whatever. So I'm going here. I say I like to register an application. Let me switch languages because I don't think English. I don't think Dutch is the general language here. So let's go to app registrations. Create a new app. Demo for MFA. Up. Let's just create a name here. It's not really relevant for this purpose. So what is relevant is that you will have created an application, and this application has an application ID. And this is the identifier which you will use in your configuration of your app. So I'm going to copy this here. I'm copying it. Let me just create a new node, demo. This is my app ID. What you also will do is create a new key, demo key. I will say this will last forever, and when I push save it will generate a key which is only visible once. I'm copying this, pasting it here. So this is the data we will need for configuring the application. Let's go to the GitHub repository, click the clone or download button, copy the URL. Let's go just to a temp folder. Git clone this URL. Got everything I need here. So all the properties you will need to configure are in the source main resources folder. There we see an example file. We just copy this application properties to the application properties file, and we're going to edit the application properties. So on the second line you see your tenant name on Microsoft.com. This is the name of your directory you just created, and the directory we created is called, let's go here, let's go one more. This is the demo directory, and the demo directory go to configure. Let's go back here. One moment. So the name of the directory within Azure AD is the one you gave up in your wizard, and that's actually this one, cvugirectdemo.onmicrosoft.com. Later on, if you like to link it to your own domain, you can do it by configuring here domains, and there's a separate wizard for that where you can link your txt record to your domain. And then you can, for example, instead of using cvugirectdemo.onmicrosoft.com, you can, for example, use datalinks.com or whatever. So what this means that there is a directory within Azure AD, and it contains a collection of users under the folder cvugirectdemo on Microsoft, cvugirectdemo.onmicrosoft.com, and in that you will have your users and the application registered. So like I showed you before, I got an application registered, and we were busy with configuring the tenant in the properties demo.onmicrosoft.com. So the client ID is the ID of the application I just copied earlier. Just copying it here, pasting it. The secret is the one-time password I copied earlier here. Now I need to recode that probably. Demo, okay. Okay. That's good for now. So as this is a multi-factor authentication app or demo, we need to enable something in Active Directory. So we go to the demo directory and go to the cloud here, and we will say get Azure AD Premium. As MFA is a premium option, you need to enable multi-factor authentication and try, and you can just use the first one. Try Azure Active Directory Premium now. Okay. So this will take a little while. Let me hold the pause button. Took a minute or so. Now you see the option Azure Active Directory Premium P2. Okay. And I go to enable directory features. Go here. So when I set up multi-factor authentication, I go to Manage Access. Then I push the Manage of Multi-Factor Authentication button. And here I can select users for which I like to have multi-factor authentication. So for the purpose of this demo, let me just create a user within this tenant. After this demo is finished, I will delete everything, of course. So let's go new user, Chris demo, Chris at, and I will use the name of the tenant for this demo now, and this is this demo.onmicrosoft.com. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. And give me the password. I will need that for now, for the initial time. I just say create. It's creating a user. So when I go to multi-factor or manage multi-factor authentication, I'm going to refresh here. I will see there is a new user created, and I will say for this user I like to have the multi-factor authentication enabled. Enable multi-factor authentication. Close. So let me see what we have done. Okay, we have configured an application, we have configured the user, we have set in Azure Active Directory that we like to have multi-factor authentication by enabling the premium option and then enabling multi-factor authentication. We've configured the application with the proper properties. Let's build it. Maven clean install. There's one other thing we need to configure as well. So this application we're using for the initial authentication to access this directory has a reply URL, and it will always reply to the URL we gave earlier. But now we're going to deploy this application locally on localhost, and it will have a reply URL of hello. So what I will do is now http localhost 8080 hello. I will save it here. And this is one of the allowed reply URLs. Target. So we've created a jar file. It's called target ref up Yeah, let's do it like this. So as this is a Spring Boot app, it contains everything you need. It uses Tomcat underwater. You can also configure it to use Jetty. So now we go to localhost and we say, okay, this is the demo. In this application, I've configured, just have a look in the source code over here, that the /hello, where I like to go now, is a protected resource. And this protected resource is handled by federated authentication mechanism. In this case, it's configured to use the properties in the property file, and the properties in the property file refer to a federated authentication mechanism that lays in Azure AD. So when I click on this, I will be redirected to Azure AD. Also, this screen, what you will see now, is the default Microsoft screen, but you can configure this with your own template as well. And that's something you do on application level within Azure AD. Okay, here I see, okay, this is a demo app. I need to accept this. And here I'm logged in, but I'm now logged in with my own user. That's not the user we want. So let's open a new browser here. And when I say own user, I meant the management user. We don't want that now. Localhost 8080. Let's go back here again. So here I will use the user we just created, and this user is Chris. Let's see if we connect a demo on Microsoft.com. The password is the temporary password here. I will use now. Then it says, okay, you have multi-factor authentication enabled. You have to configure it now. And here you have the following options. You can use your phone or use a mobile app. When I say mobile app, I will say I will use a verification code, and then I need to configure it. Yeah, let me in the README file I will show you what you need to do in order to have the application installed. But if you have, like me, you have an iPhone, there is an authenticator app you will see on the Microsoft, and when you open this app, there is a plus sign on it, and then you choose the work or school account, and then you can scan the QR code, which I'm doing now at the moment. So I've scanned it. In my phone app I see now demo directory, and I can push the ready button, and I see there is a number on my screen. It's checking now. Okay, now it says it's configured, and now I can contact it. So now it's the multi-factor authentication server is connecting to my, or expects a number as a challenge from my app, and this is the number I see in my screen. So this is only the first time I need to do this. Second time it will go much quicker. So okay. So now as this is my initial password, I need to change my password as well. Okay, this is something I've used before. It's quite smart. Okay, Now I say accept. This message is because I'm not using HTTPS. I'm going from an HTTPS site to HTTP. But here you see the hello world. I can access it now. So when I'm cleaning my history now, let's go close this one. I'm opening a new incognito folder. Yeah. Okay. Localhost 8080. I'm going to the private hub. It refers to this one. I can just say, not this one, Chris at demo on Microsoft.com. The password I just entered. Now it will verify. I will get a notification for my app. There are several ways you can configure your multi-factor authentication. This is just one of them. You can also have push notifications, for example, or even have yourself called. And now you see I'm logged in with multi-factor authentication. So that was that. Hope you guys liked the demo. If you have questions, give me a mail or whatever. The source code is available on GitHub. Okay, have a nice day. Bye.